The Hall of Fame will not be including Bill Belichick this year, as they have decided he will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer because he didn't get enough votes. And I have a lot I want to say about this, but we're going to start by looking at this statement that the Pro Football Hall of Fame recently released. The respects and passion, it is very, I'm not going to read the whole thing because those who are watching can read it, and those who aren't, well, it's not that important. But basically, each year the Hall reviews the selection process, and the composition of the 50-person selection committee is determined that any member violated the selection process bylaws, they understand action will be taken. Yeah, I'm not buying any of this. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds like a little bit too. This tells me one of two things, maybe three things. Number one, they are really gonna try and punish Bill Belichick for the Spygate, Deflategate scandals, things like that. Like, you know what, you have to sit out a year. That's what we're gonna do. Which, if that is the case, if that's actually what they're gonna do, then that has to apply to Tom Brady when he's up. That has to apply to Robert Kraft, who is up this year too. Like, you can't pick and choose on just Belichick when they all benefited from it. So if that's the case, you need to say it with your chest, I guess. Keep it consistent. Don't just what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You need to do it both ways. If that is the case, I guess I get it. If they follow through and do that with every single way, then I get it, but I still don't like it. If either that, two, just pure spite because Bill rubs people along the wrong way. He's not the nicest guy in the world. Or part three, which I think is very much the answer. They're just hating at this point. That's pretty much that's the reason why this is what they're going with. But I think this is embarrassing. He has 8 Super Bowl rings, 6 as a head coach, 2 as a D coordinator with Lawrence Taylor and the Giants. He 20 years made the playoffs. I think 18 of those years. If you're going to punish him for that stuff, then Tom Brady needs to be punished too. Then so does Robert Kraft. They were all there for that. They all benefited the same way. Like, all of those quote unquote scandals, they were all there for. So it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. Either you tell him Pete Rose style, you're not allowed in, period, as opposed to go sit in the corner and count to 10 because we're putting you in timeout. Like, this is dumb. The Hall of Fame embarrasses itself. This is disgusting. I don't care how they got to this. I don't care if it's an accident. You're talking about arguably the greatest coach in NFL history, and I think second most wins in regular season, most playoff wins, most everything, basically. He's got as many Super Bowl rings as fingers if you don't include thumbs. And if he does come back, he can get those thumbs if he goes to the right spot. So this is gross. I hate it. And I hate that I'm defending it because we grew up rooting against the Patriots. It was ingrained in us because they won all the time.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I've learned that there's been a caveat to this entire story that screws with the whole he just didn't get enough votes thing. Coaches getting into the Hall are included with senior members as well as a contributor to the NFL on a special ballot. It's 5 people. You're only allowed to choose 3 of them. This came from the Kansas City Stars voter. His last name, let me see if I can find it, is Gregorian. Gregorian. And for him, he explained that of the 5 people, he voted for the 3 senior nominees, which are Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, and Elsie Greenwood. All guys who probably should be in the Hall of Fame anyways, but are not. Bill Belichick was the only coach representative, and then there was a contributor representative. He looked at it from the perspective, well, Bill will have another ballot. But for Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, and Elsie Greenwood, this could potentially be their last ballot as senior people, which is fair. I actually understand his perspective. Now, the things I don't like is, why is a coach not on his own coach's ballot? That should be a thing. Like, you should literally just have your own coach's ballot because there's as many coaches potentially going into a Hall of Fame as there are players every year. And you could easily just have its own ballot where you select 2 or 1. I don't care. Just
or none. Just whoever. If they're eligible, they get the votes. Throw them in.
Yeah, right. That should be there should be no limit to, is this guy eligible? Yes or no? Cool. Should he be able to get a vote no matter what? Yes. It shouldn't just be the 15-man modern era ballot like what's all the players deal with. It should be a special coaches version where it's only coaches. Seniors should be by themselves along with contributors by themselves. Knowing that now, I wonder how many of these 11 guys, maybe more, who didn't vote for Bill, if this was the reason they did it, because these might be older writers who are the name Elsie Greenwood, most young people don't know. Roger Craig, most young people do not know. Ken Anderson, I hope you know him, but maybe you don't. I don't know. But these 3 guys are well-deserving of a Hall of Fame spot, and if it's potentially the last ballot, maybe that's why. It doesn't justify the fact Bill wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. Bill should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but it makes sense as to what occurred if this is the same thing that happened. Like if it comes out that all the voters that did not vote for him are just older, like if they're 60 plus, I'm gonna think it's more the senior contribution thing more than Spygate. And I do agree that Spygate excuse is BS. Get that out of here. If it's anything other than I felt the senior nominees deserved the ballot because it could be the last one. If it's any other excuse they give, I'm calling BS. That's crap. But if it's the excuse you want to use is that these three guys contributed more to the NFL in their time than what Bill did in his, I can live with that. I don't like it, but I can live with it. And I think hearing that explanation makes a little more sense as to what happened because all the news that's come out is this is Spygate related. This is a penalty for Spygate. I don't like it. I don't agree with that. That's crap. The guy's 2 wins, 3 wins, whatever it is, away from the all-time record. Like, let's not kid ourselves. This guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Anything less than that is an egregious thing. But in the situation that he was placed in, because he's placed in a special ballot with only 4 other guys, and you can only select 3 of them, the Hall of Fame screwed this up. Is what this is. He should never be on a special ballot like that, unless the special ballot is, does Bill Belichick get in the Hall of Fame? Yes or no? And you pick yes or no. Those are the only, that should be the option he's allowed. Because is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? Yes or no? Yes. That should be a resounding yes from everybody's perspective. So I don't know. That's seeing the report come out. I understand it more, but I don't like it at all.
I'm going to throw on the conspiracy hat and start twisting some of the tinfoil and stuff too. He was eligible this year. He could have been in the Hall of Fame this year. Bob Kraft is eligible next year. So there is opportunity that maybe they were going to force him to go in together, or they're going to make sure Bob Kraft gets in before him because petty owners, everything like that, that's just the way the nature is. It does feel like they say you don't punish the kids for the sins of the parents. This is what it almost feels like is he's getting punished for the sins of the past where they didn't get those guys in sooner. Maybe they should have got those guys in sooner. And some of those other guys that got in on the first ballot, maybe they shouldn't have gone in on the first ballot. Maybe there's some guys that were really good but shouldn't have been first ballot Hall of Famers. And now you have arguably the greatest and most accomplished coach of all time, not a first ballot. Like, imagine if Tom Brady doesn't get it on the first ballot. And it's like, oh no, because we had to get in these older players. It's like, well, you should have got him in the first place. Like you're discrediting the first. Hall of Fame is really divided into 2 sections unintentionally. There's the Hall of Famers, and there's the first ballot Hall of Famers. And
it will be different from Tom, though. But that's important to note that it will be completely different for Tom, and it will be completely different for Bob Kraft because they are on their own separate ballots that are not included in this 5-player special ballot thing with 3 seniors, a coach, and a contributor. So owners have their own ballot.
That's it. I know. I'm making the overarching point though about
right. No, I think it's important to not miss this point that for Tom it will be completely different because it's just a modern era 15-man and you just pick. For Robert, it's a yes or no, check a box. For Bill, it's like we put a special category together that coaches go in because we don't like all coaches. Here you go, and that's crap. That's the Hall of Fame is on the hook.
That the fact that you have your most accomplished coach in NFL history having to wait a year, like. When they made Teal wait a year, it was kind of dirty too because no one liked him, even though he's top 5 in every major category. It was dirty then, and you had to watch Randy going before him, who was this side by side contemporary he was often compared to. Don't get me wrong, Randy deserved to go in first ballot. So did T.O. This is crazy. I find this downright embarrassing. It feels, I don't know. I don't like it. They need to fix this right away. They need to go back like, hey, we're gonna revote really quickly.
Yeah, like put out a special poll. Does Bill deserve? Like literally, just make it simple. Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame this year, yes or no? Check a box.
That's all it has to be.
This is they're making this way too hard. This is just, it's so stupid to know that that's the case of why he might have missed out is because they have old head voters who probably could care less about contemporary football that are voting for the old guys every single time. And that's what I think I'm most concerned about. It. And also it just brings up the whole conversation around Hall of Fame ballots and voting anyways, and how we already have a screwed up system. But all right.
I digress. They basically took away a golden opportunity. It's just like the opportunity to be a first ballot Hall of Famer comes along once in a lifetime. And when you earn it and you don't get it, I get why T.O.'s still mad about it. I get why I hope Bill comes back after he gets in the Hall of Fame and wins like 2 more Super. No, actually, not 2 more Super Bowls. I'm still mad at him for my childhood, but I hope he comes back.
I want Bill to be in freaking Cancun for the Hall of Fame ceremony, just like T.O. And you know what? I really hope Bob Kraft gets in next year with Bill, and they both boycott because of this. And it sounds silly, right? Everybody wants their moment in Canton, but that's what T.O. did, and it made sense. He went and celebrated with the people that are around him. He had his own thing. That is probably the best move for anybody who gets snubbed by the Hall of Fame in year one. Like, look, screw the voters, screw the writers that did it. Like, you don't have to be friendly to writers in the NFL. Like, they're going to write bad things about you. Bill Belichick minced no words about how bad journalists could be. He also used the journalist to his advantage as a coach, but I'll leave that alone. The guy wasn't nice to media, and if that's the reason he didn't get in, yeah, it wasn't nice to anybody. That's true. But if that's the reason he didn't get in, that's BS. That's Bush League. Get the writers out of there. Like, you need a whole new set of voters every year if that's the case, because you can't have these legacy guys who are only voting for seniors and old heads. Like, that can't happen.
As much fun as it would be to have Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick kind of reconcile their differences and celebrate in Cancun, we both know that won't happen. Rob Kraft loves the happy ending to his career, so he's going to definitely be there for sure. Maybe Bill will take the time off, but we know that's going to be a happy ending with Rob Kraft at the ceremony as well.
Oh, there'll be snowballs thrown.
Hopefully it's not snowing in the summer, but we'll see. But
those aren't the snowballs I'm talking about.
Okay, fair play. But let us know down below if you all think Bill Belichick should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, or if you know what, he'll be fine as long as he gets in. Let's